We're a global action network of about 3,000 organizations worldwide. And what happens is that if there's a critical number of partners in a given country, they come together and they form a country water partnership. So there are about 84 countries where there are now country water partnerships. And then they come together within a region to form a regional water partnership. And then the global water partnership sort of helps to coordinate at a global level. But it's very much a bottom-up organization, focusing on linking action on the ground, knowledge, and policies. Policies that will actually make people's lives better and create a better enabling environment for managing water better.
And what's your kind of role within these talks? What are you trying to, I don't know, get decided or get put in, or get approved at these talks?
Well, what we saw when we first got involved, which was around the time of COP15, was that people were talking about adaptation, but without really realizing that the impacts of climate change are mainly going to be felt through water. So we feel that adaptation is about water, primarily in the way that mitigation is about carbon. The whole global water cycle is being affected by climate change. And so we need to respond to that. And that message simply wasn't there at around the time of COP15. So we're very happy that now, 4 years later, there has been some movement within the Substa. There's been a draft decision that water resources will be now a focus area under the Nairobi Work Programme. That's very good news, because there are a lot of organizations that are working on water issues, and there does need to be a level of coherence in these various efforts. There's also been a draft decision under SBI that there's a global support program to support countries in developing national adaptation plans, and water is going to feature in those national adaptation plans. We're still concerned, though, that, well, some of the major sectors like agriculture, forests, they'll talk about adaptation, but they won't look very much at the water implications of what they're doing. So there's still not enough sort of holistic, joined-up thinking about what adaptation's about. And water is exactly this really connecting thread, this connecting issue.
When you talk about water, do you mean drinking water or water from the sea or rivers? What's the, because I guess water is water. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about adapting so that people in dry regions gain access to water they can drink and use for their crops, or you're talking about managing it so that you don't have more, I don't know, big flooding situations?
Yeah. No, we're talking about the big issue of water resources.
Right. Okay.
Of course, it's essential that it's now accepted as a human right that everyone needs to have access to enough drinking water each day. But after all, you've got to have the water to flow into the taps in the first place. And climate change is affecting our entire water cycle. We're getting more frequent and more severe floods and droughts. That's been shown in the IPCC reports, and we're seeing it happening, every day, affecting people. So it's these big issues of the global water cycle and water resources that we have to start thinking about in a way that's been neglected up to now. So another thing that we're aiming for in 2015, apart from the climate talks and the decisions being made here, which would also be very important, but the other track of global discussions that's going on is for the Sustainable Development Goals. And we very much would like to see a global water goal being agreed in 2015, so that water is no longer the sort of neglected issue, the overlooked issue, but it's an issue that really receives the policy attention and the policy focus that it needs, so that people can get the protection that they need from these extreme climate events, that there can be some forward thinking to actually prepare for the next drought, that, resilience can be built through better water management. And at the moment is not happening because there isn't enough investment to do that.